Hello, beautiful souls. I have another read here, which is a personal read, and it's a little pool of the energies and what's the situation per this relationship. But before I go into this reading, I wanted to kind of clarify something because a subscriber had a really interesting point about me wearing a ring on the ring finger. It was a gift that was given to me. Was somebody that prophesized over my life many years ago. And a lot of what she said has come to pass. And I lost the ring. And I recently found it, so I put it on. And this is actually the finger that it fits. And it kind of brings me luck, per se. As you all know, I am a Reiki master. I do have the advertisement on my car for energy healing and massage. So there's times where men will call and they'll be in the car next to me. And so I just kind of, when I take the call, they're like asking me out instead of asking my prices. So I kind of look this as like kind of like, it gets rid of it's like hey, I'm married, off the market, whatever. But and she also asked about me referring to a soulmate, and yes, soulmate, and I, our time ended, and it just kind of ended. We just kind of drifted. Excuse me. The last time we had went out, when we said our goodbyes, I felt this distance between us. I did do a reading for him, and in the reading it did show that somebody from his past would be coming back, and it would be a positive thing. So, I did learn and grow a lot from our friendship, and it was an amazing experience. But yeah, that is ended. So I just wanted to kind of clarify that with everybody that yes, soulmates do come into our life at different points in time, and they're not always male. I mean, there could be female, there could be like teachers, our own children, co-workers, and soulmate can be anybody that we've had a past life with that, comes to help us along in this life. But, that had ended, and so anyway, let me get on with this reading. And well, I'm going with a whole different layout here, of course. And the first card here is the Prince of Cups. With the Prince of Cups, you see that he is riding this chariot, which is an eagle. The Princess of Cups is also like resembling that there's been some loss and disappointment. He tends to move too fast. He is the element of air and water, and he has a very clear link with the spirit. He is a go-getter. It's like there's no rest. He's constantly moving, and he has to be moving. There is kind of like a tantric sexual passion about him, which is a lot of the awakening of the Kundalini. He is kind of, we'll say, like ruled by Libra and Scorpio. They're more of the dominating signs that would be with the Prince of Cups. He likes living life to the fullest. He does have his secrets. He's a very secretive person. He follows his ambition, and he doesn't like to feel emotions. So he's kind of like a person that likes to detach when he feels he's getting too close to somebody. With the Prince of Cups, we also see that his attention is more of an intellect, okay? He has this link to the spirit, but he hasn't fully embraced it. When he goes through some type of a trauma, there's this period of time and rest and healing that he kind of goes into himself. It's almost like, when he has his ups, he's ups, and when he has his downs, he's downs. We may stereotype him as bipolar, but he does live life on the edge, and he chases his goals. His inner strength is, what gives him the insight into people. So he's a good reader of people. And so when the Prince of Cups came to meet the Queen of Cups, the insight that he had from his life really gave him good knowledge as to where she was in her life and in her journey. And the Queen of Cups is also can be related to the Two of Cups, then the Three of Cups, and the Ten of Swords. And we know the Ten of Swords isn't a very positive card. But you see, you can't even see the Queen here. And her thing is just finding that oneness with the Spirit. And she is like a vessel or a channel that the Spirit does use. She's a great spiritual teacher. And you see the moon up there, which is just this ray of light, and shows that she's a very nurturing and very nurturing, loving, compassionate person. She does run on feelings and emotions. She gets dreams and visions, and she has these psychic abilities. She believes as above, so below. She doesn't like to be divided in the mind, but then we have the Ten of Swords, which is also on, on her side here, which when stuff does happen, she becomes a product of that environment. Like she could be influenced by hurts and pains. So she may be more inward. And with the Prince of Cups coming and finding her with the possibilities and seeing, the abilities and qualities that the Queen of Cups does have, the insight that he's taking on from life, he knows that this person is he sees through her, basically. So even though there are hurts and pains and stuff that is on the surface, he can see deep inside, like he can see her. And yeah, okay. I was kind of getting off track here, but yeah, he can see her, like he can see through her. But we come into this bringing together card, and it's the Hermit. And we know with the Hermit is usually it's like a time of solitude. It's when there's like this withdrawal, right? But this is the higher self is taking them into this. The higher self is leading them. And you see the wheat is really growing and flourishing around them because there's a lot of spiritual growth going on. This is the higher self is really leading. And right here you find the ego. So it's like a physical withdrawal for expansion through the higher self. There's the growth and the wisdom, but there's also the patience. They have that creative spark of fire, but it's this withdrawal is for the strengthening to bridge the to form the bridge between the spiritual and their higher self. They've really mastered to tame the lower self, which is the ego. So right here, the higher self is ruling. So for coming into the separation phase of the relationship, it was the higher self that kind of led them. And you see the egg over here, which is signifying that they are totally focused on manifesting their goals and their future. They're it's almost like a self realization or a soul searching, just to come into that Christ consciousness. So there was that separation where they did do the separation, but common or the mutual thing was the higher self was took them away from each other to lead them onto this journey for solitude and spiritual growth. Then we have the Six of Wands, and the Six of Wands, basically, it's kind of like a temporary victory. And we see, the 9 flames, and all the flames are in the same shape, same form, same direction, which is saying that, balance and harmony has come in. The solitude, the patience, the creativity spark has led them into this victory. But again, this is kind of something temporary that they are both going through right now, and they are both sharing, even though there is this cut or lack of communication. There's a lot of growth here. So with that being said, it's more like, it's nothing that they did intentionally. It was the higher self that basically led them in to walking away from this. If you see the hermit is walking away and leaving this relationship behind, because both of them need the growth. Because even here, the Prince of Cups isn't fully connected or hasn't fully embraced the spirit yet, and the Queen of Cups hasn't found that oneness that she's been searching for. So right here we do find the victory where they've both came to that completion and accomplishment. So then we find the coming together, and the coming together is the Ace of Wands. And with this is a fire energy. This is like self-awareness. This is a release after you've been blocked. And so, this relationship was blocked because they were in this phase of solitude. So this is the outcome here. So this is the new start. This is a lot of fire energy, and a lot of energy is being channeled into the work and into the relationship. So this is showing, the couple coming back together again, but that new start and their careers it's like a fresh beginning. It's because they've had that spiritual growth, they're able to see things in a different light. So as they're channeling this more positive and more spiritual energy into their work, which would be the soul mission, there's the financial gain, the career gain, and an amazing relationship here. So this relationship is really full of passion, and there's an excellent sexual attraction. But, they channel a lot of their energy into this relationship. And even when they were in the separation and going into the growth, a lot of that energy was being channeled into this relationship, like with them knowing, but not so much knowing the reunion would happen. Again, but they were led by their higher self. They were led by the spirit to go into this area of growth. So I'm showing, typical of the twin flame is that we have boy meets girl, boy girl separates for whatever reason. There's a runner, there's a chaser. They do come into this victory, but it's a temporary victory, because ultimately the main purpose of the journey is for the reunion. But this victory is just showing that they were able to bring that harmony and that balance into their spirituality. They were able to accomplish what their higher self wanted them to accomplish. So this was their independent victory. But the ultimate victory does come with the reunion, where they come together. And then they're flourishing, they're living their soul mission, and their energy is really being channeled from, into their relationship, into their work, into, we're looking at total abundance here. So this is the reading and the situation, but also knowing that, in here with the Prince of Cups, it was almost like there was a sacrifice that was made, where he did feel the connection with the feminine, but he did have to make that sacrifice because of the ups and downs, and because of the loss and disappointment that he suffered in the past. When he felt the attachment happening to the female, he knew that that was going to distract him from the ambition in his intellect and the goals that he had set for himself. So he chose to cut that relationship. And in him cutting that relationship, it kind of destroyed her, but it wasn't, it was a destruction that was meant to happen, because there was a lot of blinders and veils that needed to be removed from her in order for her to get that oneness that she was so searching for, to have that oneness with the spirit, oneness with God. And you see the oneness here, the victory that she accomplished is you can't even see her, because she blends in so well, because she has that oneness. So I hope this makes sense to you guys, and I hope it resonates with some of you out there. Namaste.